Podcast with Jensen Maydew, Tony Caranco, and your host, Wes Underwood.
And welcome into the Sports Timeout Podcast, brought to you by Jefferson's 75-cent boneless wings on Wednesday, or my favorite, free fried pickle Fridays. Yeah, got to go get some tonight before all this homecoming action. And then Robert's Integrative Dentistry in Joplin. Ready for a wider, straighter smile this Valentine's Day? Be sure to schedule your appointment today at 417-622-0404. Impress that special someone with a brighter, straighter smile. Or fresh breath, you know. I mean,
at least
Valentine's Day.
Right.
Yeah.
It should be illegal to show up with bad breath anywhere.
It's true. Very true. Wes Underwood, Tony, Jensen out this week. How are you?
Good. How are you, brother?
Man, ready for the weekend? Ready for some softball, baseball? It's weird to say that, but after Missouri Southern's tear last year, it's going to be fun to watch.
Absolutely. Yeah, that'll be fun, man. It's crazy. It went by pretty quick. I feel like I haven't been on the podcast in a minute. It's been, what, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah, it has. Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. It's been a minute. We've missed you for sure. I know Jensen's missed going at it with you.
Yeah. Well, obviously, whenever I'm not here, there's a lot less facts, you know?
Hey, she said it one week too.
Yeah.
So, kudos. Definitely, for sure. But also make sure to hit that subscribe and follow button right there on YouTube. And also happy Groundhog's Day. What are your predictions here on Groundhog seeing a shadow today?
The over-under, man, I think he sees a shadow like he has like the last 20 years. But
yeah,
it is 2024 and there's a lot of weird stuff in the air, so maybe spring's here.
Could be 70 degrees today.
Yeah, beautiful day.
You know, Arctic tundra to all right, spring break, man.
Right.
So
yeah, it was nice to go out for a walk.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All week this week so far. It's been great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But we got that rain coming in tomorrow and Sunday, and hopefully it doesn't get too cold again. But all right, we'll get to it. Ghetto Tacos NCAA talk, and we talk NCAA top 10 in basketball. I mean, more stunning games this week is number 3 UNC goes down, and then they lost to Georgia Tech. Number 5 Tennessee falls to South Carolina. Okay. Kentucky falls to 10, and then Marquette jumps up from 14 to number 9. All right. That's all right. Yeah, that's a pretty big jaunt in the top 25 poll.
That's it.
KU falls again from 7 to 8. They're slowly losing their way out. Duke, they jumped from 12 to 7. They had a pretty good leap. Wisconsin, they go from 13 to 6. So some pretty good leaps this week. Top 5 stays Tennessee, Houston, North Carolina, Purdue, and UConn. Yeah. I mean, I really like UConn right now. They have a decent schedule until number 9 Marquette, and then they also have number 13 currently, Creighton. Seton Hall could give them a run for their money, but yeah, I mean, I actually like the basketball standings where they lie. If I moved anyone, it'd probably be Dayton from 21 to 14. 5 losses. That's where Illinois is, by the way. They have 5 losses, and yeah, I think Dayton should be up there. They've only got 3, and I think the only reason they're not there, though, is because they aren't able to beat a top 25 team yet, but I think Illinois should be bumped to 21 or 25, but other than that, I think it's pretty even spread.
Sure. I'd agree with that.
Anyone you don't like in there? Anybody you think should be out right now?
Is Louisville in it?
I think they've been ousted.
Good. No, cool with me.
Yeah. I don't think they've been in for a while. So yeah, there
As
you go.
they as
You're
they
good. Do what?
as they should.
Yeah. They'll probably be in the tournament, but I don't think they're too good for the top 25. So
Right.
yeah. All right. Well, I mean, pretty clean there. NCAA top 10. Not much else. So we'll go ahead and move on over to the MLB. And I mean, an interesting story broke a few days ago. It's been about a statue of Jackie Robinson that was destroyed and cut from its base last week at a park in Wichita, Kansas. And the article says police are still searching for those responsible. They found out that it happened because of a trash can fire that was reported. But also good news, it was also captured on surveillance video, which it's like, okay, you've had about a week or so now. Surveillance video, like if you've got it and it's doing its job, shouldn't you have kind of gotten an idea of the people yet? But who knows?
Right.
But
Well,
yeah,
the American justice system,
true.
they're known for being good, right? So
It's being looked into thoroughly. So,
yes, just like
but
the those three guys that were found deceased in the back of that guy's house after the Chiefs game,
yeah,
and they
that was an odd story. Very odd story.
yeah, and they're not pursuing criminal charges of any sort. They said there's no foul play. That guy is some sort of scientist, apparently.
Yeah, that's
It's,
what I heard.
yeah, just
It's
kind
like
of
the
weird.
weirdest story. I've like, hey, we got this going after. Oh, in other news, the Chiefs. Yeah, but
Right. I don't know.
interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Guess if you can't find them, then you can't find someone guilty. Why not?
I guess.
But although, on top of that, adding to it, more good news. Donations poured in all of a sudden on Wednesday to replace the statue that would have been on his 105th birthday of the first player to break the color barrier in the MLB. And as you all know, maybe you don't, but Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier, and it was awesome for baseball. And it's led to a lot of good players coming in. It's been great for all sports. Love watching games. I mean, especially since everybody's included. It's phenomenal. And
Right.
he was one of the ones who put up with a lot. And I mean, going back and watching 42, I mean, wow. And that's probably just the tip of it, but
Right. I bet they left out a lot of details. I don't think
absolutely.
they would have needed like three movies to
Yeah.
get about half of it.
Yeah, and it probably would have been like rated X or whatever just because of how violent it probably would have been too, cuz all the stuff that they did to him and
Right.
hearing his story when he spoke, I mean, just no one should ever have to go through that. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
But anyway, on top of that, though, $140,000 was donated since Wednesday, and it's double
Is that
what
the
the
statue?
statue's worth. Yeah, it's
Okay.
crazy,
Cool. Right.
but
That's crazy. Maybe
I
they'll
don't know.
make a bigger statue and it's a little bit harder to get stolen.
Yeah, or make it out of something that's less easy to cut through. Bronze is pretty easy to cut through.
Some lead.
Hey, kids, don't touch that.
Yeah.
Why? You'll die. What?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Uh,
true.
some tungsten.
Tungsten would be good.
Yeah. That'd be really hard to steal.
Wonder how heavy that would be.
And it's probably not very easy to make statues out of.
No, probably not.
It
Probably
probably
not.
doesn't it probably doesn't like stay together very well.
No. I mean, rings, tungsten rings. They're interesting. I mean, they look cool, but I think they break really easy. I think they're really brittle,
Yeah.
but strong material when it's done right, brittle when it's like broken apart and stretched out and yeah.
Right. Makes sense.
But yeah, next up, we'll go ahead and head over to the NBA and we'll talk Marc Gasol. I mean, he officially retired 14 seasons in the NBA, 10 seasons with the Grizzlies, traded to the Raptors. He won a title there. He had 3 All-Star seasons, Defensive Player of the Year in 2012, 2013, and then 2008 and 2012, he was a silver medalist for Spain in the Olympics. And then he was also the franchise leader in field goals, rebounds, block shots, and minutes played for the Grizzlies. 891 games, 866 starts over his career, 14 points averaged, and 7 rebounds per game. I mean, what a great career. He was a great guy on and off the court. Never heard anything bad about him. Always had a positive attitude. There were a few games where he didn't afterwards, but rightfully so with some of the stuff that happened during those games because they got pretty heated in the moment. But congratulations to him. Do you think he ends up in the NBA Hall of Fame?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Sorry. With him having such an impact on the Grizzlies team, I don't see why he wouldn't. Because I mean, it's not just about the stats that he has, but also the impact that he made to the team and the franchise itself.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it was always fun to watch him and his brother go up against each other too, because they put on a show when they went up against each other.
But that was fun.
Two of the, it's crazy at how big they are, both over 7 foot, and they were able to shoot the three just almost flawless in the prime of their careers. And I don't know how they did it, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But
I mean, they just raise their hand like up here, and they're like parallel with the baskets.
No, it's just whoop, teardrop.
They're just like,
yeah, it's crazy. And to get 2 brothers that are that tall, like, I guess you have Giannis and his family, but not a lot of players have brothers that come out to be as tall as they are, especially if they're big men. So
it's true.
but next up in the NBA, we'll go ahead and talk the offensive eruptions. And, Joe Dumars went to an NBA game a couple weeks ago that came down to the very last shot. He thought it was one of the best games of the season to this point. I mean, the final score was Denver 102, Boston 100. This happening amid a flurry of big individual performances. I mean, you had Luka. He went up for 73 points the other night. Shout out to Clint. Clint was loving that game, and rightfully so. Then you had Joel Embiid before his injury. He put up 70. Devin Booker and Karl Anthony Towns each scoring 62 points in the last 2 weeks. And then he said also on Wednesday that NBA officials aren't alarmed by such numbers because the league scoring average is up only slightly compared to last season. It's where the game is today is also what he says. And I mean, the NBA's executive vice president and head of basketball operations says it's the pace of the game. It's the amount of threes guys, kind of a confusing sentence there. So 3-point shooters, for those who don't know what threes guys would be. And I mean, yeah, you got them shooting it now. And you're going to have some offensive eruptions like that. And there hadn't been an instance since April of 1978 of 2 players scoring at least 60 points in the same day until it happened twice last week with Embiid and Towns, and then their huge games on January 22nd while Luka and Booker put their scoring shows on in January, and that was on the 26th. But yeah, it was a reminder that defense can still be played in the NBA. But that being said, thoughts on the NBA? I mean, do you like more scoring or do you like an offensive defensive battle like back in the early 2000s when you had teams with like Shaq and Kobe and, I mean, AI and guys like that just going up against each other and playing defense, but also being able to score threes in clutch moments to put the other team out and then defend it and take that big lead once they got the score.
Right. So I think there's a few things going on here. I think first of all, I think there's some sort of gentleman's agreement that between all the players that they're probably not going to play defense. One, because it's harder on their body.
Yeah.
Um, I think
LeBron.
that yeah, I think the games were definitely a lot more interesting whenever there was defense, and I
Yeah.
enjoyed the games a lot more then. Versus now, it's a shooting clinic. Like, it's soft, just kind of like how the NFL is now. It's soft,
Yeah.
and it's a personification of what it used to be. Um, so I don't know. It's
It's crazy. I
yeah,
mean, okay, you go into an all-star game. Sure. I love to see it. You want to watch
right,
the guys score. You want to see him shoot the three. And then they kind of added that into the season. I mean, these guys are just trained now pretty much since Steph Curry. Like everybody is just draining threes from the craziest places. And then you have games where guys like LeBron are just chucking it over their shoulder because they don't want to take it down the court, and then they make it in. Like they just practice that. And
right. Well, and go ahead. Sorry.
no, you're good.
I was going to say, and the last thing that's going on, there's a lot of players coming out, and or alumni players coming out saying that the NBA is rigged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And with it, with me believing that is a case, especially again, if Vegas is involved, and they are business structure wise, the
Yeah.
NFL and the NBA is built like the WWE. You're allowed to script what the outcome is, right? Legally, and they're protected by it legally. So why wouldn't they if it's going to bring them more attention? So
Yeah.
so if people were like, "Oh, this guy scored so many points. This guy scored so many points," what does that do in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
It's the numbers go wild. It's going to be harder for them to predict.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's I think like I said, there's more than one thing going on. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
It's crazy. I mean, I get it. Yeah, absolutely. And then, like you said, and for the fans, it just sometimes it just gets boring. Like you have a team that just offensively overproduces one night, while you have another team who's just like, oh wow, yep, they're doing it.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's like
we're here.
right. It's like watching the Harlem Globetrotters show every night, right? Like over and over again. It's like,
Exactly.
yeah, that's cool. Like once every 10 years, you go watch the Harlem Globetrotters. But I'm not going around, following the tour around just to watch them play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just goofy.
Absolutely. It is. It is. And next up in the NFL, we talk another goofy subject. And yeah, I mean, we aren't going to talk Super Bowl until next week. So we'll save all that for next week. We'll talk about Brock Purdy and his triumph, and we'll talk about Travis Kelce and his clutchness, because I mean, both games were great, and one team came from behind and the other team just kind of dominated. So we'll talk about that next week and give our predictions there. But as of now, former Chief could be coming on the show too. We'll keep your eyes and ears out listening for that. But we go ahead and talk Chiefs Ravens and the pregame antics as Travis Kelce called out kicker Justin Tucker for poking the bear. And in case you haven't heard or seen it, Tucker was stretching and putting equipment in front of Kelce and Mahomes during the pregame intentionally. And Kelce said, excuse me, this on his podcast on Wednesday: if you're going to be a F word man part downstairs about it, to be nice, um, you keep your helmet and your football and your effing kicking tee right where the quarterbacks are warming up. And if you're not going to pick that up, I'll happily move that for you. And Kelce said that on his New Heights podcast with his brother Jason Kelce. And he
Watch out.
also explained that the usual pregame routine where each team gets half the field to warm up, which, I mean, if you've been to a game, you've witnessed this. I know I've witnessed it, and I kind of questioned it too when videos started surfacing like, why is he even down in their team territory? Well, I mean, other than trying to pester him and get that home field advantage, right? But I mean, yeah, it's both sides of the field to account for the wind and other weather conditions. But Kelsey said they are to stay away from the opposing players, which, yes, typically, yeah, that's what happens. And when they do venture to the other side, Justin came out and he said it was more of a joking gesture and kind of a fun, competitive move. And I get it, Kelsey said. He was kind of winking at me and being a male part about it again and trying to get under the skin. We just weren't in a joking mood and we were ready to get after it. Mahomes said on Tuesday that Tucker is the only kicker who has violated those unwritten rules during his NFL career. And I've had 7 years of doing the same warm up routine. There's only been like 3 occasions where there's been a kicker that wasn't moving out of the way. Excuse me. And Mahomes told the radio station in Kansas City it was in Baltimore all 3 times. And he added that he thought Tucker was trying to get under the skin, adding that he was going to let it slide. But Travis moved it for me. Yeah, we saw that. We saw that. But Tucker also said Monday he considered the pregame incident gamesmanship and all in good fun. But Kelsey, who caught a 19-yard touchdown pass from Mahomes on Kansas City's opening drive, responded that Tucker's antics might have had consequences. Justin, sorry if we took it to a level you didn't think it would go, but yeah, that's what Travis Kelsey had to say about it. But if you're going to be a about it, I can one up you every time. So I mean, just good
Yeah,
tomfoolery
Travis
thoughts here.
Kelsey's real tough. You know what I mean? He's standing up to the kicker.
Yeah,
Good for him. You know, like, wow, good for you. Like, yeah, man, it's sure. I don't know if it bothers him that much. Like, cool. I mean, whatever.
well, and
But
if I mean he's nonchalantly, I watch the videos and Justin Tucker's literally there doing like his little leg stretches, and
right,
he is winking at him, and I'm just like, what is he doing? Like he looks like a moron to be honest, but he's out there trying to act tough himself, and he's like, hey, this is my home stadium. What are you two doing here? Like, just trying to do that thing. But this also brings up the other point of the game with Flowers and the taunting penalty, if you may. I mean, pregame stuff, okay, cool. Unless if a fight breaks out, nothing really happened there out of that. But the taunting brought out some real fights in the game later on because the frustration finally broke through. And there were a lot of penalties that Travis was able to draw. But your thoughts on the taunting here was what Flowers did okay. I mean, the one thing I had an issue with was just the fact that he pushed his shoulder back down. But I had no issue with the ball being thrown down, and I had no issue with him being over the body. So,
right. Um, yeah. I mean, I didn't have an issue with any of it. It's a competitive sport. You
yeah,
know, people that play sports understand that people are going to be talking shit and having a good time.
yeah,
If you don't like that, man, don't watch sports. Like, it's at the end of the day, like, these are grown men, you know, going out here competing for money, you know, is going to get heated. And
yep,
honestly, the NFL needs to lean into it. They need to lean into it. Just like, you know, they're taking tips from the WWE, right? You know, they might as well, you know, lean into it and let there be more drama. You know, that's
yeah.
the UF. It works great for the UFC. It works great for the WWE. You know, they're structured the same. Why not do that? I mean that at least make it a little bit more interesting.
I think their only reasoning would be the young fans watching. And I get it. Like football, yes, it's a tough sport, but they also don't want to see players going out and fighting. Like the parents bring their kids there to enjoy the game. But I mean, if you're a true fan, and your kids have been around football, they know what's going on. But if you have like maybe a 3, 4, 5-year-old out there, they're not going to understand what's going on. They're just going to be like, oh, look, a fight. What's happening? Stuff like that. But I can understand
Sure.
from that viewpoint. But the rest of it, yeah. I mean, come on.
It's adults playing a game.
It is. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if it's too rough, then it's probably not meant for you or or your family. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I mean, it's a tough man sport, and I don't like the fact that it's so soft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I might be along with you, if the NFL was not so soft on everything else. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But they have turned it into a joke, a mockery. Um, it's not what it's not what it used to be. It's not what people love.
No.
And there's several reasons why that is, but ultimately it's because Vegas needs to win.
Absolutely. It's true. Even though they deny it. I'm starting to believe it too. So, but we end in the NFL with the Cowboys and Jerry Jones, and saying, no doubt, I could work with Bill Belichick. Obviously, he won't be in as head coach next season as McCarthy has it for now, and didn't receive the extension though, McCarthy. But if things don't work out and they move on, would this team be an option to go with for Bill Belichick? And Jerry Jones seems to think so. He even went as far to say that they were friends, they know each other on a personal level, and they like each other. Um, Before they start their courtship here, what are your thoughts before they get a team going? I mean, does the Jedi Master take over in Dallas after next season, or do you even think he'd be a fit?
No, I think Bill Belichick is a fit anywhere he goes.
Yeah,
I think he does need to have some weapons at his disposal, right? But I think he can, as long as he has some sort of talent, I think he can do decent. I mean, I think he struggled at the end,
yeah,
but he was, I don't know. I couldn't say why, right? I'm not at the meetings. I'm not, you know, but he struggled towards the end, but
yeah,
they also didn't have, the quarterback that they had the longest time, right? So maybe he's just a one system head coach. I don't know.
could
I
be.
think he'd do fine. I think he can do fine, but he also hit the lottery with Tom Brady.
Yeah, yeah, yep, absolutely. I mean, he did put together a top tier coaching staff. He was able to have quite a few successful defenses in his day as well. But, you know, but
Right.
yeah. Our last topic of the show here before we get to the local sports update and 2-minute warning. The Kansas City Current will be what we talk about. And man, season's close already, and everyone's ready for a new stadium up in Kansas City, just off the river. Preseason has begun, and we have thoughts from new current head coach Vlatko, and he talks the signings that they've made and more. And then we also have players Desi Scott and Izzy Rodriguez. Yeah, they talk new coach, new season, new stadium. So check it out.
I mean, I would be lying if I said that I haven't thought about the home opener, the opponent, the stadium, the fans, the community. It's something that is always in the back of our mind, but we all we can do is just focus on the next step. We know that in order to get to the home opener, in order to get there's another I don't even know now 46, 47 days. So we have about 35 trainings that we have to go through, meetings, everything. So we just focus one thing at a time, one training at a time, one meeting at a time. One session, one friendly game at a time, and when the home opener comes, we believe we're going to be ready. Yeah, all these signings have been in works now for a couple of weeks. These players were training with us, and we're just going through the paperwork and confirmation. So we finally were able to finish everything and announce them. I'm happy to have them all. They're great players. obviously with having Desi signed but healthy and in training every day, it just lifts up the spirit, the quality of training, the discipline. She's a great player, but also her experience helps the players around her as well play a little bit better. So very thankful and very happy for it. And then Low signing, just happy to know that we secure Low for at least one extra year, because as I said in my quote, Low is someone that brings creativity to this team, but also brings a little different flair. I mean, she loves this team, loves the organization, loves the community, and it's a perfect example of or a role model of a KC Current player. Yeah, so Desi's back. She's been training full with us, no problem. Another exciting news is that Vanessa has been training as well, and she's doing well, so happy for her. Hannah is training just certain things, and we do expect her to have her back. I don't think she's going to be back for the beginning of the season, but I would say a few weeks into the season, we can expect to see her if everything goes as planned and smooth. Where for Mallory, it will be probably middle of the summer when we can expect to have Mel back. We have them both here, and we have the medical staff around them, helping them out, and helping everybody out to be as prepared as they can.
That's a great question. For me, it's just his consistency, to be honest. I'm trying to find, like, what's different about Vlatko, but for me, he's the same Vlatko that I remember from 10 years ago. He was so knowledgeable back then. He was so dedicated to the details. And I think that's only improved over his time. The little intricacies and, like, one-step, two-step, the little nuances of the game, I think he's just really fine-tuned, the small things. And I think that's incredible to have, especially for us. We're knowledgeable as players, but those little 1-2% differences are really going to make the difference for everyone on the pitch this year. I think you'll see that. Yes, 2023 was not the year I expected it to be. Rehab took a turn that I didn't think it would, but pleasantly surprised where I'm at for 2024, starting out in preseason. I'm feeling good. That fitness still has to get there. There's a lot of work to be put in there for sure. I have a new appreciation every day for what we do on the daily. But I'm feeling stronger every day, and I'm hopeful to be ready to go for our opening match at our new stadium. That's the goal.
She's looking good.
Bless up, Izzy.
Yeah, I think we have a super competitive roster, and everyone here is in a really great place. So I think it's just keeping that mindset of we're all competing every day to get on that field and to make our team better. So every day just going into the training like I have something to earn and something to prove. I think it's been really great. We've been diving into details about a lot of things really early, and I think that's great to establish so everything's super clear and we can kind of build from there. We definitely do a lot of video, and I was actually just talking to Vlatko about all the analysis we're going to get as we get more play time, more games, and things going on. So I think that those types of details and those minor things are going to be extremely important going forward.
Yeah, I'm excited for this team. I drove by the stadium last week on my way to my kiddo's operation up there, and I mean, it just looks like it's ready to be an electric place, being right off the river and the nice stadium that's been built, the parking lot's getting put together. I mean, the team is going to have Glass returning this year. Scott's already returning. Labanta's coming back. Izzy, Dabinia, Hamilton, Ball, French. You got last year's Rook and Michelle Cooper. She's coming back. And as long as she doesn't have to do any hot shots this year, I think she should be the one making the hot shots going to the back of the net. But the signings that they made this offseason too, some of the let-goes were a little questionable, but I like where Vlatko has them heading. The players like him, and he seems to have a great knowledge of the game. I mean, he's been in Kansas City before. He's been able to accommodate the team to the weather situations, whether it's heat or rain. So, but yeah, thank you to the Current for the footage there and all they've done. Jeff, Danny, Grace, and everyone else over there. Current, can't wait to get back up there this year. You guys are definitely a class act, and we're ready to cover the season that's about to unfold. But yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, my thing is, didn't the current go to the championship like 2 seasons ago?
Yep. Yep.
Was that the same coach that was just let go? Or was that a different coach?
Different. So they let go 2 coaches last year.
Oh,
Caroline
okay.
Airbloom and the other coach that they had. I don't remember his name now.
I find it crazy that soccer, they lose faith in their coaches so quick.
It's crazy. Yeah. That's weird.
Like that happens. Like I know that happens in other soccer leagues and stuff.
Yeah.
So like to me, it is weird that they lose faith in their coaches so quick. I mean, they always land on their feet.
Yeah.
But I feel like they get traded more than players do.
Yeah. Absolutely. They do. It's different. If the NFL would do stuff like that, I mean, you kind of see the coaches resurface every now and then, but
Right.
yeah, it's crazy. But on that, we'll go ahead and head to the local sports update brought to you by Trackside Burgers, open at 1515 West 10th Street. Go get one of Chef Mike's specialties, and yeah, they're worth it. Definitely. Yeah. And on the boys' side of basketball, Joplin will host Nixa tonight for homecoming, 7:15 tip there. Then Webb City will host Ozark for homecoming as well, 7:30 tip there. CJ will host Willard. Carthage will host Republic at 7:30. Both of those games there, and then Neosho will host Branson at 7:30 as well. On the girls' side, just Carthage hosting Republic, 6 p.m. tonight. And on that note, we head into the 2-minute warning brought to you by Hot Stone Pizzeria. Not feeling like cooking this weekend? Go get some pizza by the slice over there. Only Wednesday through Saturday.
Yeah,
and
I
yeah,
glad living there. You know.
Yeah.
Show support for Hot Stone Pizzeria. Meow.
Yeah. Love it. Like it. Get it.
Meow.
Another team that deserves that, though, we'll talk about them real quick. MSSU women basketball, they're still on the streak. They hit 13. Can they keep it rolling tomorrow at Central Oklahoma? I mean, they had a minor scare at Newman, and they led by 1 at the end of the first quarter. Then halfway through the game, they were up 11. Then in the second half, they just erupted for 44 points as they ended up winning by 40, 77-37. Beautiful second half. It was crazy. But tip set for 1:30 tomorrow. And by the way, men will follow. So, and then also baseball and softball are back in action. And baseball takes on Henderson State today, 7 p.m. And then tomorrow, the 4th, they will take on Arkansas Monticello at 1 p.m. And Sunday, they take on Awicha Baptist at 1 p.m. And then for softball, they open their season today in a doubleheader, beginning at 2 versus Southwestern Oklahoma State University. Then at 4:30 against the University of Arkansas Monticello. And then tomorrow is another doubleheader at 10 a.m. And then at 12:30, they'll have Awicha Baptist. And then on Sunday at 10 a.m., they take on Henderson State. And, the first 2 games today will be in Hot Springs, and then the rest of it will be in Arkadelphia for them. But, music's here, so it's the end of another episode. Tony, Jensen, Clint, myself, have a great and safe weekend. Stay dry. Don't forget to pick up 10% off burritos tonight at Ghetto Taco. If you can't make it in, Thirsty Thursdays. What else you got?
Yeah, no, Hot Stone Pizzeria, Robert's Integrative Dentistry, for a brighter, straighter smile. Hard to go wrong with any of those. And, like and subscribe. I dare you.
You got any plans to stay dry? You going anywhere? Staying in?
Yeah, I got some plans, but it's just work.
Yeah.
I just gotta work.
All right. Well, y'all take care, and we'll see you next week on the Sports Timeout.
Absolutely. Take care.